Good afternoon, student. Myself, Dr. Asavari Asre from AKHMC, Alepata. Today we are going to learn the lectures from Homeopathic Philosophy by Dr. J.T. Kent. We are going to learn the lecture from Kent Philosophy, that is a chronic diseases, psychosis. Student, before this lecture we already learned the chronic diseases, that is a theory of chronic miasm, and in which we already finished the SORA as well as syphilis miasm in detail. Psychosis, also like syphilis, originates from polluted sexual contact or at any stage it may infect the wife from the husband or vice versa. It may again infect the children through the parents by the way of inheritance, and that's why it is very important to learn this miasmatic disease, that is a psychosis. In aphorism number 79, Hahnemann introduced this miasm psychosis with the syphilitic miasm. During the days of Dr. Hahnemann, only the syphilis is considered as a miasmatic disease, while psychosis is not considered as a miasmatic disease because the physician able to remove all primary manifestation, all the extra growth from the skin level, and that's why they consider that the disease is totally removed. While this disease is not removed, but the internal dyscrasia remain as it is, and it inheritance to the next generation, and there is a suppression of this miasm because of this suppressive treatment. Let us consider, there are different or there is very interesting view of Dr. Kent as well as Dr. H. Robert. Try to know the miasm psychosis, or what are the views of Dr. Kent regarding the miasm psychosis, isn't it? It is important to know and clear the concept by Dr. Kent and then by Dr. H. Robert, because your foundation should be a very concrete one. You must have a knowledge or a different view explained by different stalwarts, isn't it? And that's why from root you have a knowledge of this concept or views of this magnanimous personality, and that's why we learn this miasm psychosis from the lecture of Dr. Kent, isn't it? If you have a book, please open. Let us listen the slide. Let's read. It is not generally known that there are two kinds of gonorrhea. One that is essentially chronic, having no disposition to recovery, but continuing on indefinitely and involving the whole constitution in varying form of symptom, and one that is acute, having a tendency to recover after a few weeks or month. That means from this explanation it is very clear that there are two types of gonorrhea, isn't it? And this gonorrhea is caused by Neisseria gonococci, and the both stages, that is acute as well as a chronic stage, both are infective in nature, isn't it? And it is not generally known that there are two kinds of gonorrhea. One that essentially chronic, having no disposition to recovery. Yes, as the name itself indicates that the chronic disease which as a very slow and imperceptible beginning, and which develop along with the life of organism and ends with the life of organism, isn't it? While and therefore there is no disposition to recovery, but continuing on indefinitely and involving the whole constitution in varying form, varying form of symptom. That means this chronic miasm psychosis manifested in every organ, and it influence whole constitution, and different form of symptoms are developed which are characteristic feature of the psychosis. The another form is the acute one. As name itself indicate that there is a sudden onset, rapid progress and time period moderation. That means this acute but both are acute or chronic, you can say both are infectious in nature, and as there is no sudden onset, this infection is occur because of the polluted intercourse, or you can say it is because of the impure caution, and after this completion of this incubation period, there is simply inflammation of the urethra, that is the urethritis, and thick purulent mucopurulent discharge through the urethra at the commencement of urination. At the beginning it is very painful, and as the acute disease is there, it recover by and through its own energy of vital force. That means it having a tendency to recover after few weeks or a month. That means it recover spontaneously, automatically, and there is no requirement of any treatment, or this some symptomatic homeopathic treatment will cover the stage. The both are contagious. There are also simple inflammation of the urethra. In both cases there is a simple inflammation of urethra attended with discharges which are not contagious. The discharge is not contagious. Thus we have simple inflammation of the urethra and specific inflammation of the urethra, and of the specific we have two kinds I have mentioned, the chronic and acute. That means the specific inflammation, that means one which is acute in nature, while another is a chronic in nature. The books will treat of them as one disease. As Kent mentioned that this gonorrhea is of two types, one is acute, one is chronic, while the books means the modern school of medicine, that is the allopathic school of medicine, have no such concept that there is any discrimination in between the acute and chronic disease, while they consider both are the same disease. The book will treat of them as one disease, treat them in a class. Treat them in a class means that a generalization of the disease. Every patient receive the same treatment for, that is antibiotic treatment for the gonorrheal infection, whether it is acute, whether it is chronic. And in a treatise on gonorrhea, we will have a description only that which relates to the beginning, with the discharge. Yes, this discharge is a main problem with the psychosis, and therefore they try to suppress the discharge. The majority of cases of gonorrhea are acute. That is, there is a period of prodrome, that is the incubation period is there. It is just of the 3 to 4 week, and after 3 to 4 week there is after the completion of the whole person under the influence of this miasm, under the influence of this infectious disease force, you can say, and there is a primary manifestation of the psychosis in the form of, it is a cauliflower like growth or the condylomatous growth along with the urethritis. A period of progress and a period of decline. As acute disease, there is a period of progress and period of decline, and it is spontaneously disappear, being thus in accordance with the acute miasm. The acute may really and truly be called a gonorrhea. That means the acute is a totally an acute gonorrheal infection, because about all there is of it is this discharge. If the suppressive treatment be resorted to in the acute, the symptom is sufficiently vigorous in most cases to throw off the after effect. That means if we try to suppress this discharge by any suppressive treatment, then the whatever is a side effect of this suppression of this acute miasm, this patient may suffer from, and very vigorously there is an outburst of the symptom sometimes is there. The suppression cannot bring on constitutional symptom called psychosis, while whatever is the symptoms appear because of the suppressive treatment of the acute miasm, these are not as similar as the constitutional symptom like psychosis, because it is a acute disease, acute miasm, and therefore it has a period of progress and period of decline. But unfortunately it receives a suppressive treatment, then some throw off after effects, some vigorous after effects are there, but this after effect are not much severe, and these are not a constitutional symptom. Constitutional symptom is it is whole person or whole patient is under the influence of, and there is a tendency to transfer this miasm to the next generation. It is just not this constitutional symptoms are appeared because of the acute gonorrhea. It cannot be followed by figwarts nor constitutional state such as anemia. That means in acute infection there is only urethritis is there, the thick mucopollulant discharge is there, but there is cannot be followed by figward. But figwards are not appear as a primary manifestation. Figward appearance is a characteristic feature of the chronic psychosis or chronic gonorrheal infection, isn't it? But while constitutional symptoms cannot follow the suppression of the acute miasm, they will follow suppression of the chronic miasm. That means because of the suppressive treatment of the acute miasm is not resulted into the constitutional symptom, isn't it? The very deep seated symptom which revolved whole constitution. Such type of symptoms are not appear whenever there is a suppressive treatment of the acute gonorrhea. While whenever there is a suppressive treatment, that is whenever there is a this acute miasm, only the urethritis is there, and they try to remove this discharge or suppress the discharge. While in chronic gonorrhea there is a condylomatous growth, and they try to remove this condylomatous growth by any external means, and these are after effects are very serious, and there is a constitutional symptoms are appear and become very serious. Most of the cases of true psychosis that are brought before the physician at the present time are those that have been suppressed, and they are a dozen times more grievous than when in the primary stage. Yes, that means most of the time means nowadays the very previous generation received suppressive treatment, and nowadays this psychotic chronic disease, chronic gonorrhea whenever appear to the physician, the most of the time which received a very suppressive treatment and very more grievous, that means more serious, very serious effects are there than when in the primary stage, as it is not at the primary stage, it is receive the suppressive treatment. In both the acute and chronic, the prodromal period is about the same, for 8 to 12 days. and there is no essential difference between the discharge of the acute and chronic. Yes, if there is inflammation, there is no essential differentiation between the discharge. It is a mucopurulent discharge, thick yellow greenish discharge. It is a mucopurulent discharge and may have all the appearances that any acute discharge of the urethra might take on. It's any simple remedy conforms to the nature of the discharge itself will soon turn the acute miasm into a state of health. Yes, fortunately, when the patient receive this acute gonorrheal infection and immediately reach to the homeopathic physician, and by the symptom similarity, a very simple remedy, when we select according to the totality of symptom, that is the nature of discharge, then this remedy will turn the acute miasm into a state of health. Yes, this remedy has a capacity to whatever is a infection or discharge, without any suppression of the discharge, it cure this acute gonorrhea without causing any suppressive symptom or any ill effect after that. But it requires antipsychotic remedies that conform to the nature of psychosis. Yes, this discharge is very characteristic is there. You know, the discharge of the sora is thin, watery, ichorious discharge, while the discharge of the psychosis is a mucopurulent, thick yellowish greenish discharge is there. Then this discharge, whether in a acute gonorrhea also, it is a very characteristic, and which remedy is similar or produce this similar type of discharges, it is a invariably it is a psychotic in nature, and to turn the constitutional psychotic gonorrhea into health. And this antipsychotic remedy has a capacity to treat both acute as well as chronic gonorrhea. In the very earliest stage of the discharge, it is not necessary to make a distinction. That means in earlier stage of infection, we should not have a knowledge, or we don't have a knowledge whether the disease is acute or chronic. But after the disease progresses for weeks, it becomes very necessary to make a distinction and to follow the remedy that conform to the more acute symptom with the remedy that would be suitable in a psychotic constitution fully developed. Yes, it is very important, as the there is a two types of gonorrhea is there, acute and chronic. Acute gonorrhea obviously needs the acute remedy, which has a characteristic feature of these discharges, isn't it? While the chronic gonorrhea, in case of chronic gonorrhea, patient of gonorrhea, whatever is the remedy we select, which possesses the constitutional psychotic constitution, isn't it? The symptom of the psychotic constitutional symptom of the psychosis, psychotic miasm. Then it is a difference. Acute gonorrhea need the acute remedies, while chronic gonorrhea need the constitutional treatment or the chronic remedy, deep acting remedy, isn't it? Remedies are picked out for psychosis in the same way that the remedies are picked out in any miasmatic disease, which by making the anamnesis. That means the selection of remedy, obviously you have to select the most similar remedy and which possesses the symptom of these acute remedies must be according to the which has a line of progress and prodromal period and the line of progress and line of decline, which suitable to this course of disease, that is acute course of disease, that is a preclinical and clinical stage. You have to select the acute remedy, and in case of chronic gonorrhea, the remedy should be a very deep acting constitutional one, suitable to the course of the disease. in anamnesis of all the psychotic cases. Anamnesis means the deep study of case taking. Whatever is the case we take, it is a very deeply very critical analysis of this symptom of the case, and it is an anamnesis of the psychotic case which we had enables us to look at the constitutional state of psychosis, just in the same way as Hahnemann by an anamnesis of SORA. Just like how Hahnemann take out this symptom of SORA, that is whenever there are a number of patients which originated from the whenever there is a history of skin eruption or the suppression of the skin eruption, and from that point, beginning point, consider the beginning point, how the patient is developed, the various type of symptom, various type of diseases, all these are under the miasm of SORA. He consider under the miasm SORA and collect the symptom from different patient and make a totality of symptom of SORA. Similarly, and then he proved the remedy on himself, and the various other prover, and those remedy which are, every remedy have its soric aspect, psychotic aspect as well as the syphilitic aspect, but in which remedy the soric symptoms are predominant, called the antisoric remedy, and in which remedy whenever the psychotic symptoms are predominant, called as the antipsychotic medicine. Some remedies are there when these are at a time, these are the antipsychotic, antipsychotic and antisyphilitic, isn't it? But some remedies are exclusively are the antisoric, or some are totally the psychotic remedy. Then you have to select you have to anamnesis of all psychotic cases which have had enables us to look at the constitutional state of psychosis, just in the same way as by the anamnesis of SORA ascertain its nature and worked out the remedies that are similar in nature and action to SORA. All medicines that are capable of producing the image of psychosis may be called antipsychotic. Yes, recently we discussed that same thing. Whenever the medicine which are the producing the image of psychotic miasm, the constitutional symptom of the psychosis, then it is called as antipsychotic. But we can put it this way also and say all those remedies are antipsychotic, which when given to a psychotic case in its advanced state are able to turn the disease backward, to reproduce the earlier form and bring back the discharge. But whenever we call this really is an antipsychotic remedy, when we prescribe this antipsychotic remedy and this remedy is able to revert the case, isn't it? And this whatever is the suppression is there at the initial level, this suppression or suppression of the discharge is there, this would be bring back. Whenever the discharge bring back, then it is definitely is an antipsychotic remedy, isn't it? Let us take the next. That is the practical way of demonstrating that a medicine is an antipsychotic. Yes, this after the prescription, whenever the remedy is able to revert the case, whenever the remedy is able to bring back the discharge, then it is definitely practically proved as it is an antipsychotic remedy. When it conforms to the image of the miasm, it will turn the disease on its backward course. Yes, this miasmatic remedy always revert the case, and this whatever the symptoms are suppressed, it all again express after the administration, and it is very good sign. Those remedies that conform only to a particular part of the case are not deep enough nor similar enough to establish a return to earlier symptom, and hence they are not truly antipsychotic. Yes, if you prescribe any remedy to the patient, considering it is an antipsychotic remedy, and if unfortunately this remedy is not able to revert the case or not able to reappearance of the old symptom according to the Hering's law of cure, whatever the suppressive symptoms are there, if these are not reappear, that is the discharge is not reproduced after the administration of remedy, then it is not considered as a antipsychotic remedy. Let us take the next paragraph. It is hardly necessary to go over a description of the acute form of gonorrhea, but let us turn our attention solely to psychosis, recognizing it as a chronic miasm. Yes, it is necessary to discriminate between the acute gonorrhea and the chronic gonorrhea, but for the homeopathic point of view, you have to more concentrate on the on this chronic gonorrhea, and which is recognized it as a chronic miasm, isn't it? Because of the suppressive treatment, whenever this chronic gonorrhea is transferred into chronic miasm, or a disease whose first stage is a discharge from the urethra. These cases, I have said, are rare in proportion to the large number of cases of acute gonorrhea, but the disease seems to be on the increase. Every busy physician will see a good many cases in women and children, cases of gonorrhea that have been suppressed by injections in the hands of the old school are considered ended, and soon after the discharge has stopped, the psychotic patient may be told by his physician that he is a fit subject to marry as he has been cured. Yes, nowadays what happened, whenever the such type of patients are presented in your clinic, that there is a urethritis and discharge from urethra, thick mucopurulent discharge is there, it is treated by the injection in the hands of old school. It is a treatment given by the physician, that is it is an antibiotic treatment, and there is a suppressive treatment, you can call it is a, and soon after the discharge has stopped, it is very promptly suppress the discharge, and then the physician told by his physician he is fit to subject to marry as he has cured. Yes, because of the disappearance of this external manifestation of this psychosis, the physician as well as patient considered that he is well cured. But what happened after that? But it is not true. Yes, physician consider the patient get cured, but because of the suppressive treatment, the internal dyscrasia remain as it is. And therefore can say that it is not true, and he should delay marriage. Yes, he should delay marriage, but if there is no concept of the suppressive treatment or the after effect symptom which occurred because of the suppression of this chronic miasm, there is no use. Until and until patient get the proper homeopathic treatment, there is no use of such concept. It is not right for him to marry until the discharge has been brought back again. Yes, whenever the discharge is brought back, why Kent says that? Because of the suppressive treatment, the disease forcefully suppressed inside, and the vital organs are captured by the miasm, And similarly, the tendency of psychotic miasm is it act on the reproductive system, and therefore the after effects are very, or the whatever is the suppressive effect which transfer to the next generation. That's why until and until this discharge is reappear, whenever the discharge is reappear, it indicates that the internal organs are safe. But this discharge through urethra, it is not agreed by the patient as well as the physician. Physician and patient both desire to suppress this discharge anyhow, and that's why there is a antibiotic. By this antibiotic injection there is a suppression of the discharge. But what is the concept of the Dr. Kent is there? It is a very wrong concept that there is if there is no discharge, he is ready for the marriage, but he should wait until and until the discharge would be come back. But people are not much aware of this concept. Therefore it is a homeopathic philosophy. You should know what happened. It is not right for him to marry until the discharge has been brought back again, and he has been cured not by injections, because they only suppress, but by the indicated antipsychotic. Yes, this such type of patient never treated with the suppressive treatment, but they should be treated with the antipsychotic remedy. Only then may he marry a healthy wife, and she will continue healthy and bring forth healthy children. Yes, I am just told you that this psychotic miasm has a tendency to settle down in the reproductive system, and therefore it distorted the next generation. It transfer this psychosis to his healthy wife, and as similar to the infection of the syphilis, it transfer the infection in that stage which he has, isn't it? And therefore whenever it transferred, it is in a latent stage or in a suppressive stage. There is no urethritis, while the ill effects are definitely there. You will never know until you get in practice how common it is for a wife to break down. Yes, after the whenever she received miasm from her husband, it is very critical condition. The healthy wife break down very soon after marriage. In a year or 18 months after marriage, with uterine trouble, with ovarian diseases, with abdominal trouble, with all sorts of complaints peculiar to the woman. Yes, the whole reproductive system of the female get affected. There is ovarian diseases, abdominal discomfort, and all sorts of complaints peculiar to the woman. That is all menstrual complaint, hormonal disharmony is there, imbalance is there, and the lots of complaints are there. You will then be surprised on going into the history of her husband, if you are permitted to do so, to discover that in his earlier life he had 2 or 3 attacks of gonorrhea that were treated with nitrate of silver, or by one of these prescriptions that are carried around in the vest pocket of vicious young man, by injection that are known to stop these discharges. And if we investigate the case thoroughly, as the very healthy wife, how within 18 and 1 year, 18 months or in 1 year, how these different type of complaints are developed with her, how there is a uterine trouble and ovarian diseases, abdominal discomfort. And if you investigate deeply and if you take the history of her husband, and if it is permitted to, and you definitely have an idea that whenever such type of cases are there, you definitely ask the history of husband, whether there is a suppressive treatment received previously by her husband. And in that cases, Kent mentioned that whenever we discover the earlier life, he had 2 or 3 attacks of gonorrhea, and he successively treated with the nitrate of silver. Yes, it is a silver nitrate. It is a external medication or the suppressive treatment, or it is used for the cauterization of the external growth, and therefore this chronic gonorrhea suppressed and now in a latent phase of in that young man. The waist pocket, it is a very that he carried around in the waist packet of vicious enzyme, which means small packet, very small quantity, and by injection that are known to stop this discharge. You will observe what followed the contagion in the woman, and to observe these closely constitute an interesting study. Then you very closely investigate an analysis of the case and find out what is the cause behind this various complaint, who was previously very healthy one. Let us take the next paragraph. Sometimes it is so very severe in form, and the trouble comes so soon after the suppression that there can be no doubt even in the mind of the man himself that the trouble he is now suffering from relates to the suppression of that discharge. Yes, in that patient also, immediately after he received the suppressive treatment, very ill effects are there. Sometimes it is so severe in form, and the trouble comes soon after the suppression. The various type of symptoms are developed after after he received the suppressive treatment, that there can be no doubt even in the mind of the man himself. तेव्हा असे सिम्पटम आले तेव्हा त्याच्या डोक्यात पण येत नाहीत हे सिम्पटम का आले असते, that the trouble is now suffering from relates to the suppression of that discharge. That means the suppressive treatment is responsible for this n number of symptoms which are appeared now. He also not any doubt regarding that, because his physician told him maybe tell that it is a different disease, it is not a ill effect of the suppressive treatment. That's why patients are not much educated one, isn't it? They totally rely on their physician, and therefore they don't have a knowledge of this suppression and what is the suppressive treatment, what is a miasm and all that. But your concept should be clear, and that's why I can explain the various example as you may face in your clinic, isn't it? Sometimes they are latent and develop very gradually. Yes, as it is a chronic gonorrhea, chronic miasm definitely follow the symptom of chronic disease. The development is very slow and very gradual along with the life of organism, and blood becomes affected, and there is a chief action of the psychosis on the blood. The gradually increasing anemia comes, the patient being pallid and waxy. This paleness and this waxiness, it is a characteristic feature of psychotic miasm. What is said in relation to syphilis about contagion in the stage in which the individual has the disease is true in this disease as also in SORA. That means whatever is we learn regarding whenever we learn the syphilis, that means the transfer of this contagious disease from one person to another person, or whenever we learn in the lecture of SORA, that means it transfer as the one person offer to another. जे ज्या स्टेजमध्ये तो डिसीज असेल त्या स्टेजमध्ये तो समोरच्या माणसाला ट्रान्सफर केला जातो. तर म्हणून त्यांनी म्हटलेलं आहे की वॉट एव्हर इज ट्रू विथ द सिफिलिस फॉर द ट्रान्समिशन ऑफ दिस कंटेजियन, इट इज सिमिलरली अप्लाइड फॉर द psychotic miasm. Here is a common instance. A psychotic patient has been cured as far as the discharge is concerned, and now marries, for he is told that no harm can come hereafter. But shortly afterwards his wife comes down with illness, whereas she had always been a healthy woman before. Yes, she was a very healthy woman before, but what happened? Here is a common instance. It is very commonly observed that a psychotic patient has been cured. Yes, it is the psychotic patient has been cured. Cured is in a comma into inverted comma. It is not really cured, but it is suppressed, isn't it? Because it is only considered with the symptom of this discharge is concerned. If there is no discharge, there is no psychosis. If there is no discharge, there is no gonorrhea, and therefore this psychotic patient is considered as it is cured because there is no discharge, and now marries, for he is told that no harm can come hereafter. Yes, it is told by his physician, he is told by his physician that there is no harm to marry and he can marry, and therefore hereafter, but shortly afterward his wife. But yes, listen, why the previously healthy woman become sick because after marriage? Because what the patient who is considered as a cure is not really cured. He carried the psychotic miasm and he transferred the psychotic miasm as he had to his wife. He offered at that stage which he has, and therefore after marriage, after the this establishment of the sexual relationship, the wife come down with illness, whereas she had always been a healthy woman before. In the old school, there is no recognition of a gonorrheal condition. Yes, in old school, there is no concept of this suppression of gonorrhea and whatever is the ill effect of gonorrhea, how this gonorrheal miasm or the psychotic miasm is transferred from one person to another person. This concept is not actually at all concerned in allopathy school of medicine. They consider only one type of gonorrhea and they try to treat it, whether it is acute, whether it is chronic, and the treatment is only one, that is a antibiotic treatment is there, definitely the suppressive treatment which affect the whole constitution, but they are not at all concerned with the ill effect, and therefore in the old school there is no recognition of a gonorrheal condition, nor could the homeopathic physician be sure of this except for his careful prescribing. Yes, there is no concept of this miasm in allopathy, as well as there is no concept of this suppression of this gonorrhea. and the homeopathic physician also not sure if there is a suppressive effects are there. But what happened, except for his careful prescribing. Yes, if his prescribing is very correct one, then which discharge gets suppressed in the because of this antibiotic treatment, it reappear, isn't it? And this confirm the appearance of psychotic miasm. We take a man who has gone from 10 to 15 years with this psychotic trouble. There is an example given by him, listen carefully. He is waxy, subject to various kind of figwarts. His lips are pale and its ear almost transparent. Yes, these are all characteristic feature of the miasm psychosis. He is going into a decline. He has various kinds of manifestation, and these manifestations appear in numerous particulars that we call symptom. Yes, the psychotic miasm affect various other organs, and various systems are affected, various organs. There are numerous particular, that means various symptoms appear at the particular level, isn't it? Specifically the reproductive system, there is a headache is there, and there is extra growth, cysts, tumors, ulcers, like the hypo and hyper functions are there, and these are the hyper and secretions are there, and therefore the whole economy of the patient get disturbed. The very numerous type of symptoms are appear because of the suppression of this miasm, and he is suffering from 10 to 15 years. Because this, why this so long period is there? Because it is gradual progress, isn't it? The physician sits down and makes a careful study of the case. Yes, after very careful case taking, and if his perception of it is similar to some long acting, deep acting medicine, and he administered this medicine to the patient, the patient begins to improve. Yes, after the careful case taking, he select a proper antipsychotic medicine according to the similar symptom, and then patient begins to improve. The treatment is kept up, and in the course of weeks or months, the patient comes into the office and says, "Doctor, if I had exposed myself, I should think I had an attack of gonorrhea." Yes, it is a if fortunately this patient reached to the good physician, good homeopathic physician, and after receiving this antipsychotic medicine, the patient begins to improve, and this sign of improvement is there, the old symptom reappear. The treatment is kept up, and in course of weeks or month, the patient come into the office and say, "Doctor, if I had exposed myself, I should think I had an attack of gonorrhea." Yes, these old discharges reappear, and he told to his physician. Now, knowing the diseases get well in the reverse order of coming, you certainly cannot be surprised to hear this story. Yes, it is a very good thing, or it is a good sign, good indication for the patient that he received very proper treatment. Yes, the selection of the remedy is very much correct, because this remedy reversed the case, and the reverse order the symptoms appear in the reverse order. That is, the disease is going to cured, patient is improved, and patient is improved as well as the old symptoms reappear. Therefore, it is a good sign that the reverse order of symptoms are appear. On the other hand, however, the trouble may have manifested itself. Yes, another let us take the next paragraph. On the other hand, however, the trouble may have manifested itself in other mucous membrane of the body, and thus save the man from his vaccines. He is not so pallid when the condition becomes busy in another region. What happened on the other hand? Yes, symptoms reappear, and however the trouble have manifested itself on the other mucous membrane. That the symptoms are reappear on the and the mucous membrane level. That is from internal organ the disease up on the outermost layer, and thus save the man from his vaccines. He is not so pallid when the condition become busy in another region. Yes, now there is an improvement of the symptom in whole instant. This catarrhal manifestation may be catarrhal condition of the eyes, but are commonly catarrhs of nose. Yes, this catarrhal condition is started. That is a discharge. There is a excrete all these internal toxins which are suppressed. These are now removed, or these toxins are removed from the body naturally with this establishment of the catarrhal condition. Most of the time it is of the man and of the nose. It is not an uncommon thing for a nasal catarrh to be psychotic and to have existed only since the gonorrhea was suppressed. Yes, whenever there is a, it is not uncommon thing, is it is a very common thing. There is a nasal discharge is started after the suppression of the gonorrheal discharge. Yes, some the one opening is closed, then the toxins is eliminated through the another opening. Therefore, the nasal catarrh is psychotic and existed since the gonorrhea was suppressed. The catarrh is located in the nose and posterior nares with thick copious discharge, and in spite of local treatment it has been impossible to suppress it. Then what are the characteristic feature of this psychotic nasal catarrh? The catarrh is located in the nose. It is a profuse discharge from the nose, and there is a posterior nare drip which is thick, yellow, stringy, copious in character, and in spite of local treatment it has been impossible to suppress it. And it is very it is a nature, it is a nature. Whenever one opening is closed, that is, if the gonorrheal discharge is suppressed, the another opening is open, and at this time it is very hard to suppress this nasal catarrh. When the constitution is vigorous enough, it will keep up the discharge in spite of different specific remedies that have been administered. But in constitutions that are feeble, diseases are easily driven to the center, leaving the outermost part of the man. Yes, what happened when the constitution is vigorous, very vigorous constitution or very prompt vital force, it will keep up the discharge in spite of different specific remedies that has been administered. That means if the vital force is strong enough, it is a nature of vital force to throw out all or to eliminate all the toxicity from the body, and that therefore in spite of the different type of specific remedy for the nasal catarrh, this nasal catarrh never suppressed, and the work of the vital force is very prompt. It eliminates all toxins from the body, and in spite of the administration of the very good remedy, the nasal catarrh is never stopped, isn't it? And what is the why this specific nature of this vital force, or why he functioned like that? Because he desired to keep the all internal organs safe, and that's why he eliminate the toxins very promptly in spite of the different specific remedy. But while the constitution is feeble, isn't it, because of his bad habit, or because of the poor diet, or any improper unhealthy habits, the disease is very easily driven to center. And because of the suppressive treatment, or whenever there is a suppressive treatment for the nasal catarrh received, the discharge is suppressed, and vital force is not very promptly eliminate this toxin from the body, and this disease force is driven to the center. Driven to the center means it is an important organ at the center, isn't it? As it mucous membrane, the disease lies at the skin and it gets suppressed, then it affect the mucous membrane. But whenever we try to suppress the symptom at the mucous membrane, it driven to the center, leaving the outermost part of the man, isn't it? And out it suppress inward and capture the most important organ of the system. So it is often the case that a man with a thick yellowish green discharge from nose after a dose of calcarea, which is an antipsychotic, one of the deepest in character, has his old discharge brought back, and he says, "Doctor, I am not able to account for this, for I have been nowhere but with my wife." Yes, after the case taking, when we according to this nasal catarrh is there and all constitutional symptom, by considering this totality of the symptom, we prescribe calcarea, and it is a antipsychotic remedy. Then how this antipsychotic remedy affect the patient? So it is often in the case that a man with thick yellowish green discharge from nose after a dose of calcarea, this only nasal discharge is not only the symptom according to we select the calcarea, but the whole constitution represent the symptom of calcarea. That's why we select this calcarea. But it is a just example, isn't it? Whenever we prescribe the calcarea, which is an antipsychotic, one of the deepest in character, has his old discharge brought back, and he says, "Doctor, I am not able to account for this." And so he is not desire for this discharge, isn't it, which gets suppressed, and this discharge from the urethra gets started. It is time to sit down and tell that man that in his earlier life he had a gonorrhea, and that is its nature was psychotic. For it, if had not been of a specific character, it could not have transferred itself to the man's economy, affecting in that way his nose, that it has disappeared from its new site under the action of truly homeopathic prescription. and the original discharge has been brought back, the trouble that he had in the first place. Yes, whenever such type of condition is occur, we prescribe patient according to his all characteristic symptom, and then we prescribe the antipsychotic remedy. And after the prescription of this antipsychotic remedy, calcarea carb, the catarrhal discharge from the nose is get cured, while the whatever is the previous discharge from urethra is now come back. The old symptom come back, and it is very troublesome to the patient. That's why patient told him that I am not expecting for that, but because it is very ungraceful to him and very problematic to him, and that's why it is a time to educate your patient, because it is very complicated condition for the patient, very embarrassing condition for the patient. Yes, the discharge from urethra gets started, and that's why he may be very much depressed in condition, that you have to console the patient and educate him. And therefore Kent told you that it is the time to sit down and tell that man that is his earlier life he had gonorrhea. Then you definitely told your patient that you can tell your patient that whatever is the discharge now started, it is not because of the medicine, but it is a suppressive discharge. Now it is reappear, it is a symptom reappear, and that its nature was psychotic. And for if it had not been of a specific character, it could have transferred itself to the man's economy, and you have to educate them. Then it is a good for his success, his life, and it will definitely improve his health. And all those very different type of symptom and very complicated diseases, and from its new site under the action of truly homeopathic prescription, and the original discharge has been brought back, and trouble that he had in the first place. And the first whatever is the trouble he faced previously, this is now he is in that condition. This must be explained to him, and you can now tell him that he is in a position to regain his health. Yes, by when you educate your patient and console him, now he is going to improve his health. Now he is in a state of total health to become well, to get rid of his catarrh. But that if he meddles with that discharge from the penis, he will never recover. But this kind of a case has been seen so often that there is no longer a doubt about it. And after, whenever you make understand your patient that your catarrh is also cured, as well as whatever is the discharge from the penis which is reappear, it would be also recover very soon, and you may get the total health, because all the toxins from the body or whatever is the suppression is there because of the suppressive treatment, now it is revert, and it is the path of cure. He is on the path of cure, and therefore by your confident explanation regarding his disease, that is you had you had this symptom previously, and then patient get satisfied with the explanation, and he wait for it, because of your antipsychotic medicine, whatever is the disease which are running from 10 to 15 years, now he get relief from this trouble. That's why he never discontinue your treatment, while he may be very glad to very glad by hearing your explanation. Okay, this is about the explanation given by Dr. Kent, or the concept of psychosis miasm by Dr. Kent. It is very important to read this philosophy from basic. The rest of the next paragraph, rest of the lecture we will continue in next part. Okay.